What's going on, Broncos country? Today's Broncos breakdown is presented to you by the Fetch Rewards app, where you can earn points on any receipt from any store or restaurant and then redeem those points for rewards and other great gift cards. Check them out. Go to chatsports.com/fetch. Use the promo code Broncos for 3,000 bonus points. We'll tell you more about them later on and their awesome app. Today's show is a perfect plan for the Denver Broncos offseason. I've got a 5-step plan. This is not rehab. This is about getting the Broncos back to the Super Bowl and hoisting the Lombardi Trophy next February. So if you think the Broncos need to make a blockbuster trade or just pumped about the possibility of landing someone like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, go ahead and like today's video. Smash that thumbs up icon, because I think for the Broncos to get back into serious contention and stop being middle of the pack at best, it's going to take a superstar quarterback. Like the video if you want to see that happen. My first prong in my 5-step plan to get the Broncos a perfect offseason is trade for Aaron Rodgers. The Green Bay Packers quarterback has been rumored to be wanting out of Green Bay for almost a year now, so why not pack his bags for him and move him to Mile High? I think at this point, a trade is more likely than unlikely for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. It was talked about last offseason, and it seemed that they would find a way to try and just mesh together for one more last-ditch effort together, but after the way they exited in the playoffs, which I understand, by the way, if you are skeptical on trading for Rodgers because of his late postseason woes, but at the end of the day, this is a 3-time MVP, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and one of the best who ever played. You don't pass up on that because of a couple speed bumps lately. I think you find a way to take what he already has and improve everything else and himself a little bit too, and get him over the hump and back to the Super Bowl, but with a better team like the Denver Broncos. So I cooked up a mock trade to see what I think it could cost to get Aaron Rodgers to Denver. I've got the Broncos receiving Rodgers and a 2023 7th-round pick, because that's just chump change to GMs, and Rodgers has a huge cap hit anyway. And the Packers getting a good haul, a 2022 first and second. That's the Broncos' 9th overall pick, by the way. The 2023 first and second. Hopefully that 2023 first-round pick is 32nd overall after the Broncos have won the Super Bowl. And then Drew Lock to battle with Jordan Love, and Quinn Miners to try and keep whoever's under center next year in Green Bay upright. And it's a cheaper, it's a 3rd-round draft pick in Quinn Miners, so very cheap guy, but he plays a lot better than the 3rd-round pick. So I'm going to miss Belly if he ends up going, but I do think you got to spend a little money to make a little money, and Miners is just a casualty of that. Go ahead and be the GM for me, though. You saw my trade offer. Would you do this trade? Give me an A for accept or a D for decline. I personally would accept, but I also understand your D for decline crowd, because I know it's a lot of picks to give up for one guy, but it is a guy that can single-handedly turn things around. Look at the way Tom Brady just stepped into Tampa Bay and won a Super Bowl. I understand they had a great defense. They had Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, but they just changed one little itty-bitty piece, which was the quarterback, and added some other nuances around it, some other bells and whistles, and boom, Super Bowl. I think you got to do that. I think you got to put your nuts on the table and spend a little money to make a lot of money. Before we get to the rest of today's video, my other off-season plans, I want to tell you about the Fetch Rewards app. It's a super easy and free app to use, and all you got to do is earn points on any receipt from any store or restaurant and then redeem them for gift cards. And that's what you're looking at here. You want Amazon gift cards? Done. Starbucks, you want to go to Papa John's, try to Papadilla for me? Go ahead and get a gift card when you get started with chatsports.com/fetch. Use that promo code Broncos for 3,000 bonus points. Then take those points after just scanning, basically just taking pictures of receipts you already have in your pocket, your wallet, or your purse. Scan them, get points, redeem them for gift cards. Super easy. All the information, all the information you need to know is in the comments and the description of this video. Earn points on any receipt from any store or restaurant. Redeem those points for gift cards and other rewards. Check them out, chatsports.com/fetch. Use the promo code Broncos to get yourself hooked up with 3,000 bonus points. My second prong, my offseason plan. You don't want Aaron Rodgers? Okay, we can pivot a little bit. Trade for Russell Wilson. I was more team Russell Wilson back in like December than Aaron Rodgers, but the Rodgers rumors have really picked up. Meanwhile, the Wilson rumors, they've kind of quieted down. You just haven't heard a lot about it lately. And Russell's pretty good at telling his agent to leave a napkin at a bar in Seattle that says, Russ wants to get traded, you didn't hear it from me, and then having that guy tell someone in the media. So it never comes back to Russ, but he also was the one that probably originated the whole idea anyway. And I don't know if Russell is going to end up getting dealt, but I do know this. He's got a no-trade clause. And what does that mean? It means if he doesn't want to get traded, he's not going to get traded. So we talk about Russell Wilson trade rumors, but the guy that can shut them down completely half-ass does it, half-ass does it. Russ, you have complete control in your future. If you don't want to leave Seattle, you don't have to leave Seattle. The GM in Seattle, John Schneider, he doesn't want to deal number 3. It gets me irked every time because it's like he talks about wanting to get traded. And don't get me wrong. If he wants to get traded, I want the Broncos to go after him. But it's like, dude, if you don't want to leave, you don't have to leave. That's what a no-trade clause means. So coming up here, we got a mock trade for Russell Wilson. I got back in the trade lab, cooked something up here. Not the same as Aaron Rodgers because 6-7 years separates these two guys. So you got to look at them a little differently. Even though Rodgers is a better quarterback, I would say overall, I think Wilson's age factor helps him a little more. So here's what I got. The Broncos getting Russ, another 2023 7th rounder, and the Seattle Seahawks get 2022 first and second, 2023 first and second. 2024 first, so that's 3 first-rounders, and then Quinn Miners and Drew Lock to help compete for the next quarterback job. I understand. That's 3 first-round picks in 2 seconds. That is a lot for just one player. But here's my question to you. Will any of those 3 first-round picks be better than Russell Wilson? If the answer is no, you got to do the trade. If you believe the Broncos can get someone better with those 3 first-rounders, then I understand that. But at the end of the day, if they are going to get someone better than Russell Wilson with any of those top first-rounders, that probably means they finish last, second to last, or third to last in the season. So they got a top 3 pick. You really want that to happen? No. You get Russell Wilson, and you're losing a 9th overall pick this upcoming draft, and then hopefully those next 2 first-rounders are at the end of the draft because Russell Wilson has taken the Broncos not only to the playoffs, but winning playoff games, taking them to the Super Bowl, doing what he's done before. And so you don't have to sweat too much about, oh, we lost a late first rounder. Look at the Rams. The last time the Rams picked in the first round, they got Jared Goff. I think they learned their lesson from that and said, let's just trade for proven talent. So if a trade does happen, you're going to want to be subscribed to the Broncos Breakdown because we are going to break it down the moment it comes out. So make sure you hit that big red button. Join the channel like one of us, right? From, what's the movie? Wolf of Wall Street, and that way you are in the know all offseason about who the next quarterback is going to be at Mile High. Third prong to my perfect offseason plan, sign or trade for Davante Adams. Yeah, there's 2 caveats. So Adams is a free agent, so naturally you think you sign for him. Well, pump the brakes. The Packers may end up franchise tagging Davante Adams and then pull off a little tag and trade. I think on the free agent market, Davante Adams would get about $28 to $32 million. The cap's going up this year. DeAndre Hopkins kind of set a precedent in his last extension where he got about over $30 million. So I think Adams will walk in and go, I'm the best wide receiver in the NFL. The cap just went up. I want to be the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. And his agent probably can make that happen. So with that all being said, I've got a dream trade coming up. Because if the Broncos can pull off this trade, I think they are the Super Bowl favorites. I don't think that's an overreaction. After seeing the way the Chiefs lost, which was awesome in the AFC Championship game, the NFC looking just weak right now. We got Matthew Stafford and Jimmy G battling out in the NFC Championship game. No, I think the Broncos could be the Super Bowl favorites if they make this trade happen. I've got the Broncos getting Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, and then my signature 2023 7th rounder, who, by the way, is going to be like a Hall of Famer with all that being said. And then the Packers getting a 2022 first and second. This is after a tag and trade, by the way, with Davante Adams. 2022 first and second, 2023 first and third, and then a 2024 second rounder. Write that down so you don't forget. Drew Lock and Jerry Jeudy. You notice there's a different name there. It's not Quinn Miners. It's Jerry Jeudy. You're going to get Adams. The Packers are going to want a wide receiver in return, and the Broncos are already pretty loaded at wide receiver, so I think Jeudy would be the one to go. Signing Davante Adams actually isn't that easy. It's not. I don't think it's very likely that the Broncos can swing an Aaron Rodgers trade and then go out and sign Davante Adams, because the wide receiver room in Denver is pretty full. And look at the contracts here. Remember Sutton and Patrick got extended during the season? They're making good money next year, and they're not going to be free agents until 2026 and 2025. Jerry Jeudy, the cheapest, but he's on his rookie deal, so that's why. I'm guessing if he stays in Denver, they're going to pick up his fifth-year option, so he probably wouldn't be a free agent until 2025 as well. I just don't see a way you can cram in a Davante Adams contract in there where he would make about $20 to $22 million. Also, you got to pay Rodgers if you just traded for him. There's going to be, I think that's just not enough money to go around, despite Denver having a good amount of money to spend this offseason. So if it came down to it, which one would you want? Would you want Aaron Rodgers or Davante Adams? I'd roll with Rodgers because I don't know how good a stud wide receiver is like Adams without a stud quarterback. I mean, look at Sutton this year. Had some highs and some really deep lows, and you can attribute some of that to him, but also some of that to the quarterback play. And Pat Shurmur just not doing a great job of scheming his top wide receivers in. Fourth step in my offseason plan, draft a pass rusher. The Broncos trade away Von Miller. Bradley Chubb just doesn't give me, a full chub about the idea of him being a future edge rusher for years to come in Denver. I got the depth chart here in front of you, and you see there's just a lot of asterisks around names. A lot of free agents coming up for Denver. They got to make some decisions if they want to bring Johnson or Jewell back. How much confidence do they have in Jonathan Cooper and Mincy to be the guys with Bradley Chubb, who, by the way, is going to be a free agent soon. So I like the idea of going out and drafting someone this year. Now, it's difficult to do a mock draft for the Broncos because if they don't make a trade, then they're probably going to draft a quarterback at number 9. If they do make a trade for a quarterback, they won't have the number 9 overall pick. So maybe in the second round, they could get someone like one of these 5 guys here. A lot of names to keep an eye on throughout the offseason because Broncos draft coverage will pick up. And I think these are guys that the Broncos could actually get in the second round. I don't see them picking an edge rusher in the first round. It's either going to be a quarterback at number 9 or the pick's going to belong to the Packers or the Seahawks most likely after making a trade for a QB. Denver got a playmaker in the secondary in the last draft with PS2. Time to get a playmaker up front. Denver last year, the defense was good on paper, but at times you just felt you needed that extra oomph. You need that little push. You need your next Von Miller, simply put. And teams need an elite pass rusher to compete in the NFL, most likely. So I think the Denver Broncos going out and getting someone in the draft would make sense to me later on, maybe in the second round or even in the third round, but I don't see it happening in the first round. I kind of break up the show here for a second. What was your first Broncos jersey? Curious who it was. Let me know in the comment section. Was it a John Elway jersey? Peyton Manning? Demaryius Thomas, a great one to have as well. Let me know what your first jersey was from the Broncos down below. We'll go back and forth and see what the most popular jersey was after going through all the comments. My fifth and final note of my perfect offseason plan. Draft or sign an offensive tackle. The Broncos' right tackle spot last year was inconsistent at best. I thought Bobby Massey exceeded expectations for signing someone over 30 years old off the street, but that's not a future going forward. Neither is Calvin Anderson or Cam Fleming. So here are some offensive tackle free agents to keep an eye on. Cam Robinson would be a great one. Terron Armstead is the best of the bunch. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. So that's a little concerning. Eric Fisher was a all-pro at tackle, and he played pretty well this year, but he came off a ruptured Achilles. So that's not easy to bounce back from. Dwayne Brown is a great tackle. He's just really old. So maybe you want to get 1 year out of him if you end up getting someone like Aaron Rodgers just to kind of hit it and quit it. But those are 5 free agents to check out throughout the offseason. Now, if they want to target someone in the draft, again, I don't know how likely it is that they have a number 9 overall pick to use on a tackle, but if they do want to go that route, let's say they are able to swing something, or I don't know, somehow have a shot at Evan Neal, yeah, make that happen. Charles Cross is great. I think the Broncos need to address the offensive line at the tackle position, because if Garrett Bowles is your top guy, that's just not a huge, vote of confidence to like our offensive line in the trenches is strong and one of the best in the NFL. Bowles struggled out of the gate coming out of Utah, and penalties was his biggest issue. And he kind of nipped that in the butt a little bit. He got better, but he's not all the way better. He's just not a franchise left tackle. And so if your best player, which is Garrett Bowles, is someone that you really aren't even in love with, right? You would not bring Garrett Bowles home to meet your parents. That's where I kind of stand with him. So that's why I would look to address the offensive line, whether it's in the draft or free agency, kind of bolster that tackle spot. All right, to wrap it up, here are the 5 steps to win the offseason and hoist the Lombardi next February. Trade for Rodgers or Russell Wilson. Sign or trade for Davante Adams. Get a pass rusher and improve that tackle spot, whether it's in free agency or the draft. Let me know what you think of my 5 steps below. Maybe I missed one, and we'll catch you guys later here on the Broncos Breakdown.